What's up, everybody? It's your boy Emceemur, and welcome back to another video. And today we are diving back into that $100 G.I. Joe lot we scored way back. Huge lot, full of toys, and not just G.I. Joe, but so much G.I. Joe, and we barely scratched the surface of what we got in that lot. G.I. Joe was a humongous part of my comeuppance. I'm sure it was for a lot of you that watched the show. Fantastic show, fantastic toy line, just an awesome brand, I don't have to tell you. And I wanted my toys back, dadgummit, but this was a huge first step back into collecting these and getting the toys back that I used to have. And since the first episode of this series, I've discovered some vintage 1981 Tron toys in this lot whose value was surprising. We saw the bike back when we picked up the lot, but the figures I found later on, one of which was inside the bike. These Tron toys sold for $97 by themselves, leaving me with this entire toy lot, mostly G.I. Joe, almost totally paid for. And again, there's so many brands of toys in this lot, not just G.I. Joe, but we'll get into that as we go, as we dig deeper into this lot. For right now, let's get into some G.I. Joe action. Last episode, we cleaned up and looked at the figures and three very cool vehicles from this lot. The G.I. Joe Swamp Masher, the G.I. Joe Snowcat, and the one piece I wanted most, the dreaded Cobra Night Raven. Now we're going to start today off looking at the X-19 Phantom Stealth Fighter. That's right, G.I. Joe, another absolutely menacing aircraft from this toy line. It's grungy, it's dirty, it's missing a couple cosmetics, but it's intact. And we have lots of loose parts to sort through in this lot as well, so we may find what it lacks. Come on, let's get started on this thing. So here we are down in the kitchen. We're on the island. We got a little bit more room to work here. The X-19, here it is. It's filthy, but we're gonna get this thing cleaned up. We got some rubbing alcohol, we got the Q-tips to get down in the cracks and really get the detailing done. And for the majority of the surface area, we're just gonna use some Lysol wipes. Let's get started. All right, so we got her pretty clean for the most part. I mean, there's a lot of trapped dirt around the decals, and as I mentioned in the first video, I'm sure there are forums online where we can find information on how to get new decal kits for these things, and if we could do that, I would strip these off and really get in there and detail it. But you know, they don't look bad, so it looks good here. It's clean. There are a few issues, both functional and cosmetic wise. We've got the landing gear on the back, which is still operable, but there is one piece right here. This one of the rear landing gears has a little arm busted off inside where you can pull it out and stand the thing up, but it just doesn't activate with the pull tab back here. So that's disappointing, but can't have it all. And then looking right here in the cockpit, you have these two slider arms inside. The one on the left side appears to be broken off, but it doesn't stop the cockpit from being operable. So, you know, minor issues, and you know you're gonna have them. As these things age, this plastic gets so brittle, you really can't even play with these because, oh, I mean, you can easily break something if you do. So there you have it, the X-19. It looks so much better than it did, and it's such a cool piece. I did not have this one growing up, so if I have a collection, I definitely want some more cool aircraft in that collection, and this is definitely something that checks that box.
Nobody beats G.I. Joe, G.I. Joe Phantom X-19, sleek and mean and flying so fast it can't be seen. Nobody beats G.I. Joe, a real American hero.
Phantom X-19 comes with pilots.
We did battle in the air, now it's time to take to the ground. with the Sky Sweeper. That's right. From the Battle Force 2000 line, an anti-aircraft tank. A really cool piece, and it's in great shape. It doesn't look to be missing too many parts. I'm going to really have to check into what this thing had on it originally. But it looks fantastic. It just needs a little bit of cleaning up, and we can take a nice, close, detailed look at it. Let's clean it up. So there it is, cleaned up, the G.I. Joe Battle Force 2000 Sky Sweeper. It's a great looking piece. Again, it's in great shape. Got a little bit of the rubbing alcohol on one of the decals, and it took some of the design right off. I tried not to get that anywhere on them, just around them, but that's hard to do. Again, it's not a really big deal because, you know, optimally we're going to get new decal sets for these and completely redo them. Any of them we're going to keep for showpieces or whatever. But yeah, this thing's clean. Above all, that's most important. It's in great shape. It's fully functional. This piece here comes off. There's mounts underneath for 4 missiles. I think that's the only thing that this is missing, and those can be obtained pretty cheap online to complete this thing. So there it is, Sky Sweeper. On to the next unit.
To protect America, Battle Force 2000 creates the battle vehicles of the future.
Nobody beats G.I. Joe's Battle Force 2000.
Skysweeper, Eliminator, Vindicator.
Nobody beats G.I. Joe's Battle Force 2000.
Dominator, Vector, and Marauder, they split and recombine into the awesome Future Fortress.
Nobody beats G.I. Joe, a real American hero.
Battle Force 2000 figures and vehicles sold separately. Collect all 6 vehicles to form the Future Fortress.
So we've taken to the skies, we've pounded the ground. It's time to hit the treacherous waters with the G.I. Joe Devilfish. The Devilfish, the Devilfish! Cobra Commander better make his last wish! Nobody beats G.I. Joe! And they really don't, right? This is cool. This is one of those smaller vehicles, right? The kind you might be successful in begging your parents for on a random trip to Kmart. You know, 7, 8, 10, maybe 12 bucks tops for something like this. But man, this is the stuff that you got more of, whereas the bigger stuff, yeah, that was birthdays and Christmases. This is cool. I didn't have this vehicle growing up. It's missing some parts, but it's in good shape cosmetically. It just needs to be cleaned up, and cleanup's not going to be that bad. It's not that bad off. There should be missiles up here on top. 4 missiles up here on deck, and then there are torpedoes that mount to the bottom. One of the torpedoes is here. Again, I've got a lot of hope that the missing parts for some of these items that we look at are going to be in the parts in this lot, because there's so many loose parts. In fact, look what fell in my hand when I was pulling this thing out. And these weren't even in the box with the majority of the parts. We've got an X-19 missile here. I got to clean this up and put it on the X-19. Again, it just gives me hope that we'll come close to completing some of these incomplete pieces, if not fully completing some of them. And that, of course, is going to add a lot to the value. Let's get this thing cleaned up.
This is it, the new G.I. Joe Devilfish on a high-speed recon mission.
There's Hawk, the new Joe Commander. That's Beachhead, the Ranger. And that's Wetsuit.
Devilfish has 2 torpedoes and twin guns on top, and they're gonna need it, because here comes Cobra.
Cobra's got a new hydro sled, and that's real dangerous with G.I. Joe! G.I. Joe!
Live the adventure of G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe Devilfish, Cobra Hydro Sled, and Cobra and Joe figures each sold separately.
So this one cleaned up nicely. The Devilfish, it's, you know, the smaller these things are, generally, the less they're worth. But they're still sought after. They're still very saleable, and this is very cool. I mean, this is one I definitely want to hang on to. We got some moving parts here, very articulate. This is a cool piece, and I hadn't really laid eyes on this till I dug deeper into the box. There's still so much more we got to look at in this lot, and there's so many more toy lots I've found that we've got to look at on this series. It's really unbelievable, and there's flea market episodes coming as well, where we're going to lean into not just video games, but vintage toys that are starting to pop up everywhere. Highly collectible and highly cool stuff we all remember from way back when. So if you didn't catch the first episode of this series, I'm going to stick it right here. And if you want to see a flea market episode with some cool vintage toys, I'll stick that right there. More action coming your way very soon. Emceemur signing out for this episode. I will see each and every one of you again on the next one.